It's time, you guys. It's the best time of the year, best holiday, Podsgiving. It's me, and that's it. Nobody else can make it, you guys. I'm sorry. So Russ had a thing, an emergency dental appointment, and Wally's collecting everything for 12S stock. No, they're here. I'm kidding. Harvey's here. We got Angie's here. Frank the Tank, Fanged Felid. I'm gonna guess that's a cat, like a saber-toothed cat. I don't know my Latin that good. You guys know, or sorry, scientific names. Who else do we got? We got Sandy was here for a minute, and that guy from isopods is here. Awesome. And Shell. All right, we're gonna have a lot of people. I think there was a lot of hype over on Russ's page, and probably Wally's too. But speaking of Wally, we have bonus content for you guys tonight. We have Nanette. Oh, how are you, Nanette?
I'm good. How are you?
Always good. Always good. Let's see if Russ can still hear us too. We'll bring in Russ. Well, kind of. Russ is having technical issues because it's my show. His camera works fine all the other times. The computers work fine, but here we go.
There we go.
There's Russ Pods.
The audio.
We can kind of hear Russ in the background. So his isopods are going to town. He made little pumpkin pies for everybody.
Oh.
I didn't get my pumpkin pie. I'm kind of upset.
Yeah, right? Oh, are we echoing somewhere?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it.
Okay. Let me see.
Can you mute?
I did. I muted the pods. Is that okay?
That's a good idea.
Or anything.
I should say something, but have my lips move, but not say something to really.
Do you guys know? There's some trivia. Did you guys know that I'm stupid and thought that Russ's background was like a green screen situation? I didn't know it was a shower curtain for years, for literal years. Oh, look at him go.
Nanette is actually green screened on. She's at her mom's. She's at her sister's house right now.
Hold on, I'm going to pull Russ in here. She's at her sister's house right now?
Yeah, this is green screen with Nanette.
We might hear Russ.
It's a very good
Nope.
green screen.
You're super quiet, Russ.
Here, let's try this.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
We're back. We're back.
Ah,
I'm making all these
Oh.
comments, and you couldn't hear what I was saying.
rough. Marimba girl. Sorry.
Marimba girl joined us. Awesome.
I'm going to butcher names tonight. Marimba girl, I've never seen you before, so be ready for that. So that's kind of what we do here.
I feel like everybody should be saying it at one time. Moon.
Marimba girl. Oh, marimba it's a dance, right? It's like a luau kind of a dancey
I
thing.
think it's
That's a
it's an
shorter?
instrument.
A marimba's an instrument?
I think it's an instrument,
Okay.
like a percussive instrument. That is my
Okay.
understanding.
Oh, Frank's asking you to dance, Wally.
Yeah, no.
I can dance the marimba.
The marimba? I think nope. I'm gonna guess that's not it. She's not even saying anything.
No.
Hello
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
gym.
It says
She's
it's a
at the
musical
gym.
instrument in the percussion family. Yeah. Okay.
Remember, it's like a big wooden xylophone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair. Major's here. I don't know why I thought Major and Harvey were the same person. Am I right? Am I wrong? Did you switch accounts?
That seems familiar though. That makes sense in my brain too.
Yeah, Russ, I don't know if you heard, but I thought your background was a green screen for.
Oh, I did. I was trying to respond and say
Yeah.
that it was just a wall hanging that looks like a green
Yeah.
screen.
You were on the show 3 times before I realized that it was like a shower curtain.
Really?
Yeah, 3 times. Yep. I think your wife bumped it, and I was like, "What just happened? Is that a Matrix glitch?"
Fourth dimension.
Wild stuff. So guys, thanks for coming. This is like year 4, year 3.
Wow.
I don't remember how
I
many
can't
we've done.
remember. At least year 3, right? At
Mhm.
least.
This is at least the 3rd one. I
Yeah.
think I was on the fence, so I just called it 24 because I was like, I don't remember. Kermit the Frog is here to feed the pods. Who's Kermit the Frog? Do I sound like Kermit the Frog?
I don't know.
Something's flickering. Do you see that?
Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here to feed some isopods.
Oh, there you go.
That
Hey,
was
Bert.
pretty epic. Pretty epic. What is Russ showing? Watching from my teeny phone screen. Russ has some isopods eating pumpkin pie.
Right now,
They
they're
are
magic
Oh,
really-
we're going to town. Look at that.
This is the third bin I think we've seen. This is magic potions, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're not shy.
Mhm.
They are not
Hopefully,
shy.
there's a ton more of them in that bin. Hopefully, they'll pile all over it.
I think Russ could be Kermit and Bob Russ.
Kermit and Bob Russ at the same time. I'm trying
I think
to.
they have the similar energy. They've got similar energy, Bob
That's
Russ and
good.
Kermit.
Yeah.
So I think that works.
So Nanette wants to know if you made that pumpkin pie yourself and what's the recipe?
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Josh had a genius idea, and I wanted to carry it through of getting a leaf, like a piece of leaf litter, dry leaf, soaking it thoroughly so it's saturated with water, and then lining the bottle cap with that as the crust, and then putting the
All right.
pumpkin filling in there. It's just straight pumpkin filling.
Did
I
it
was
work?
going to do that, but I ran out of time. So this is just straight pumpkin filling, basically, with a little bit of like powdered isopod food on the top.
Oh, that's fine.
But
What
they seem to
brand of
like it.
powdered isopod food?
This one, I think, was Incog Inverts.
Nice.
They
I
seem to
was
try it.
going through mine, and I have like 10 sample bags. So it's time to start feeding real heavy. So I've got a big bag. I mixed all of the Supreme Gecko or Supreme Isopod Chow.
Mhm.
I have the veggies plus, I have the protein plus, and the OG recipe,
Original. Yeah.
original recipe. And so I just mixed them all together into the big bag when the big bag got about half full. So
They call that Wapatui chow.
Wapatui chow. It works out pretty good. They like it a lot. There's a
Oh, I
good
bet
feeding
they do.
response.
It's good stuff.
Have you
Yeah.
tasted it?
No, it's in. I got a shaker from dried herbs that I had, dried chives, and so I didn't even wash it out. I just finished the chives and left the chive dust in there and filled it, and now I can just shake like Mr. Rogers. I can do like the Mr. Rogers thing.
The fish food feeding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the new chive trio, because you've got the 3 different types of isopod chow with a touch of chives.
With a touch of chives,
Gourmet
it's like
Supreme.
everything bagel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Does your guys come in a shaker now? Can you get it in a shaker?
2 ounces.
Last couple of years.
Oh, bravo! I don't see enough of that. I see the bags, the little sealed bags that they have. How do those you guys do? Well, Russ, I don't know if you sell products like that or not, but how do those come? Do they come like a thing where you iron it closed? Or seal it somehow where you fill the little baggie?
How do you guys do that with the Supreme Isopod Chow?
They have a zip. It's like a Ziploc bag seal, but then I have a bag sealer that I press it down and I seal it
That's how you
a
do it.
second time so that it doesn't pop.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't know if you guys have seen at shows and stuff. They have those, they're like black Ziploc bags with a clear front.
Yep.
And they're sealed. I wanted to talk about for a minute. We were going to talk about, actually have a topic we'll dip in and out of, but wild caught versus captive bred, like benefits, points, all of that. So I want to get into an actual topic. But I recently brought up, I went to a show. We had I don't remember which one it was called. I think it's Show Me. Show Me came to Joliet, Illinois, which is literally 2 miles from my house is where they did the show.
Oh,
So it was their first one. I went to check it out. I only knew a couple breeders. I saw Brandy Larson Lowe from Rectastic Racks
Oh, cool.
was there. Met her in person, so that was awesome. She's pretty local. But I saw some bad actors. That's all I took pictures of. I never take pictures. I never take video. So stupid. But I took pictures of some bad actors. And I didn't take pictures of this thing. But they had these little like 2-ounce bags of sphagnum moss. And it was all fluffed out and then dried. And then in this baggie for $5. And it made me like angry in my core that like that's going to take advantage of somebody who that's the same kind of person that's going to sell a sulcata hatchling to like a 10-year-old. That's what they had me thinking. Like that's, if you guys know somebody that does that in the industry, like tell them not to. That's just shady. That's just really, will somebody pay for it? Yeah, but
But should
it's just shady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives a bad name to the show. It gives a bad name to everybody. That's ridiculous. That get what you can get, but that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I also had to tell somebody with a crested gecko that I loved. I posted the picture up. It's like banana yellow. And I was staring at it, taking pictures. It was the only gecko I took pictures of all day. And the lady's like, you can hold him. I said, oh, I'm not going to buy it. I just want to take pictures. She's like, you don't have to. We're not those people. You could just hold it. You don't have to buy it. And I was like, I need to tell you this. If I hold it, I'll have to buy it. Like, I really want this gecko. If it's tame enough to hold as well, because I don't do well with that. Like, geckos don't like me. So they jump, they dive. It's not great.
That's what they do, though.
They do.
That's
that?
what they do.
Yeah. What do we got here? Which isopods taste better, wild or captive bred? You'd have to ask Justin that, Frank. Oh, isopods. Okay, so Shell says isopods go nuts for pumpkin.
They do.
A vulgari are wild caught from my yard and doing just fine. That's how I started Murmba Girl, is like thousands. I wound up with thousands of A vulgari from my yard. And before I knew better, I just released them. I didn't freeze them. I was like, they're from my yard. I'll just send them back to my yard. And the only problem with that, I think, is our neighborhood is an obscene amount of isopods now. They are everywhere. Still, that was a couple years ago. But yeah, so Russ, let's talk about and Wally, let's talk about Thanksgiving traditions. What are you guys doing this year?
Let's see. Anything unusual?
Even if it's not unusual, like it could be super traditional.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be super traditional. We're meeting with my wife Kelly's parents, and with she has a couple of sisters and that live in the state, and their family. So we're going to get together. It's going to be kind of wild with the nephews and nieces and stuff. It'll be fun, but that's pretty normal, and it's always fun. That's what we're doing.
Perfect.
Nice.
That's what I love about it, is it's about the meal, It's not about this is what I love about Thanksgiving. It's pure. It's the only holiday really that I can think of that's still pure. So there's no like schedule. You don't have to get presents ready. You don't have to get a costume and run out and get Halloween candy. Those things are great. Like, don't get me wrong, I love them. But I don't know. Thanksgiving's just about the coming together, breaking bread, having conversations, enjoying the company of people you probably missed. Maybe some you didn't. I don't know. I don't know what your family situation is like. My family, it's going to be a rough year this year. So politics have been pretty heated and just happened. It's going to be pretty rough. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut unless my policy is I keep my mouth shut unless somebody opens their mouth to me.
Really?
About politics, unless somebody brings it up. You bring it up, that's on you. They know the deal. But we always have fun. We always have a good time despite that. You can still enjoy people's company and have differing opinions,
Yes.
It happens all the time, honestly. Wally and Nanette, what are you guys doing?
I am so glad Nanette is here for this question. If it were me, I'd be like, when is Thanksgiving? Is that this month? Nanette, what are we doing for Thanksgiving? Because I have no idea.
It's the same every year. It's always at our house. And my sisters will all come with their kids and their families. However, it's not as big this year. Normally we have about 18 to 20. This year we'll be down to about 10. And then I'll cook a turkey on Wednesday like usual. And then I cook a second one on Thursday. So we all have leftovers. Everybody brings something and helps with the meal. And then we just kind of relax, and we don't talk about politics at all.
Oh, heck no.
Our house is a no politics zone, no matter when. And then after we've had our meal and when we have dessert, then we can start talking about Christmas, and we swap Christmas lists and we start planning our Christmas shopping. But nothing happens for Christmas until after we've had the meal and we're done with Thanksgiving, because that's a forgotten holiday in my book, and it's one of the best ones.
So
It is.
So you have always said that Thanksgiving is your favorite holiday, right?
Mhm.
How many years have we been doing Thanksgiving here at our house?
since '99
I can't even think back that far.
when we moved in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we did it
And we
before
did it
that
before in
in
our
our
old
house.
house. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always our house.
So we have a tradition of, Easter is always at your sister Jackie's
Well,
house.
No,
And
it's here. She cooks here.
yeah, now she cooks here. But Christmas was always at Granny's house, and
Now my other two
now it's-
sisters rotate it since Granny's not here. But Thanksgiving's always been here.
That's
So-
awesome.
let me ask you this, Nat. What's your favorite? And I'll ask the group too. What's your favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving?
Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, not that corn
No.
stuff.
The
What
corn
is that called?
casserole.
Corn casserole.
No, I'm a sweet potato person. My sister makes that on purpose for you.
I hope she's watching.
Oh, that must be my mother-in-law's cranberries.
Now, okay, we're gonna come back to me, but go ahead. What's your guys' favorite Thanksgiving food?
Oh, I got to think about it. Russ, you got one?
Yeah.
Top of your head?
Yeah. We have a maybe strange tradition, but we have a shrimp cocktail.
Ooh, I like
Oh,
that.
That's a great tradition.
That's a great idea.
Mhm.
That's my favorite part. Besides the pie. I mean, the non-dessert part is the shrimp cocktail.
Nice.
Apple
Nice.
or pumpkin pie?
Usually as many as I can possibly eat, including both of those.
Yes,
Wow.
please.
Everybody brings a different pie.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring a pie this year. So I was a chef not that long ago and love cooking. And every time I bring a dish, my family, it's too fancy for my family. Like they're very plain boiled pork chops. Like I wish that was a joke.
What?
Yeah. Boiled pork chops was something we used to eat at grandma's kind of a lot. So, yeah. So I think that's why I became a cook, is because, yeah, exactly.
You had
Just
to
chew it
out
for
of
3 days.
necessity.
Just chewing. But they don't like my food, so I don't cook anymore. So I was like, I gotta wait for you people to all die, and then I can cook. And I'm gonna cook at the last one's funeral, and then and then I'll cook from then on. But we do, my favorite probably is the pie. Also a big pie fan. And I would say stuffing. Or dressing. I don't like it from the turkey. Don't give me that mush that was in the turkey. Give me the like baked kind of stuffing. So that's probably my favorite dish.
Stuffing.
Yeah. And my mother-in-law makes a truly heinous cranberry sauce. It's just like mashed cranberries in a bowl. That's it. So I'm pretty sure that's all that's in there.
I messed up my
Cranberries.
Okay. Hi, Sandy.
Yeah.
I want to go back to somebody made a comment. I missed it, but give me a second here. Can you put up fanged felid
Cranberry sauce.
Yeah. So my favorite food, can you hand me? My favorite food at Thanksgiving is cranberry sauce. Now, it cannot be the berries, because I don't like to do the, for 3 hours. I got berries in my teeth. So what I have to have is, I was going to hold this, right side up, but I have to have the,
I opened
yeah,
it
you
upside
have opened
down.
it upside down. So I have to have the canned, it's Jello
It won't
cranberry
come
sauce.
I mean, you can hold it
Probably.
upside down. Nothing's gonna happen.
No, it doesn't come out.
Holy crap.
You have to use a
Yeah.
knife to go around the edge to get it out.
Yeah.
So
This
Enjoy
is
that.
like going
This
to
is-
Dairy Queen and
this is
having them do that's going to
cranberry
fall right
sauce.
in your lap. No, I'm just kidding.
And when I get it, when I have it served, it has to be cut up, and I want to see the rings from the can. So that's my favorite meal.
Do you do
my
slices
favorite
then?
food. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Well, I'll
Good,
just
good.
take a spoon. You have a spoon? I'll just take
Oh,
a spoon
awesome.
and eat it out of the can.
No, you won't.
I think we all froze. Okay, there we go.
I think
Yeah,
you
So,
I
should.
got sick.
speaking of
Just like
cranberry, and keep going, but we're going to, we're talking about Thanksgiving and foods, and we're feeding isopods. So, what better food than cranberry sauce to feed isopods?
Are you serious?
Right?
Let's do it.
Let's do
They
it.
do to that, yeah.
Let's do it. Let's see how many milkbacks escape.
yeah,
Let's see how excited these guys. There's not going to be any pie left by the time we're done with the show.
Yeah, they're eating it. The other ones are too. I
No.
should move the camera over. You
Yeah,
can see
okay,
them
well,
going.
Yeah. Move it over. I'll
No,
get
no, we're not
Wally's
going
guys
to.
on here,
We're
and
gonna move
then
it.
no, we're just going to leave it right there. Watch this.
Jatara.
Oh,
I'm gonna guess Jatara is like Eastern European with potato
Where's it?
pancakes.
Right here.
yeah.
Lots of sour cream, right, Jotaro?
You're gonna have to put more than that in there because you're not.
Oh, look at
Oh my
this.
gosh, they're on top of it already. Can you see that?
Probably
They're on top of
not.
what?
The cranberry sauce.
I don't know if I can get a better shot. Here,
Can
take
you-
this.
Here, hold on. Oh, is it just in that dirt area?
Right here.
Okay. Can you turn the bin?
Yeah. Let me do that first.
Turn it this way.
Yeah, there you go.
All the way around, like right.
Oh, of course, that didn't work.
That's right.
Oh, here,
And I
do
think what we
this.
can do.
We'll do this.
Keep talking. We're going to fix
Yep.
this.
So
Here
Jotaro
you go.
said he's from Ohio. No sour cream. No sour cream.
We need a-
Ketchup. You said
something like
catsup, though.
this.
That's different. I'm trying to pin you down, Jotaro. Jotaro. I think it's Jotaro.
We're going to keep this whole, watch them over there.
You got me confused. I categorize people by what they say. So you said potato pancakes. I went to Eastern European, like Lithuania, Braslavia. You don't put sour cream on them, which is insane. And then you spell ketchup catsup. That's very fancy, Jotaro. That's very fancy.
Here's one challenge.
All right. I don't know what to make of this guy. Trying to figure it out. I like it. I like different people. This is different. This is something really different. Wally's got milk backs in there, Frank. Waffle backs.
Waffle backs, spreadsheets.
We're starting to come over.
Somebody asked
Here we
about
go.
spare time. I think Angie asked what I do in my spare time. I do spreadsheets.
You have spare time?
And Sandy decorates with cranberries.
Or like on the
They're
Christmas
eating it.
tree.
Yeah, they are.
Milk bags.
Josh, can you
Yeah.
go up to Laura Taylor's? It's one word. It starts with a P at 846. If you see that.
846.
Above Angie's mashed potatoes.
Angie's mashed potatoes. I bet they're awesome.
I bet they are.
She likes them with corn mixed in them.
Pecan.
Ooh.
Say that again.
Pecan. It's pecan, but
I'm from the South. Pecan.
pecan? Is that how you say it?
That's how I do. I'm probably wrong, but how do you say it?
Pecan.
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 I just
Pecan,
bought
yeah.
some ground pecans.
You
See?
eat the pecan pie after you go out and catch crappies. That's how they say it down
Catch
south.
crappies.
Crappies.
When I didn't know that there was called crappies, so I thought it was crappies that we were going fishing for because it was on the sign at the bait shop. It had like a poster with all the fish you could catch, and I was like, giggling, like I don't know for how long, probably till we came home.
Well, it is an inherently funny name.
It is.
Pecan.
We should know the Russ. Do you know the origins of that? Because I don't. I'm
I
assuming
don't.
you do.
I don't. That's a very interesting name.
I think
I'm gonna figure
it
that
has an Italian origin. That's what I think.
What does?
Pecan.
It doesn't because Russ doesn't know what you're talking about.
Right. Yes, that's true.
Oh, Russ switched cameras too. Let's see.
It's
What
the
we got.
southern part of it, Italy.
Oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
this is the Cali mix and the oranges.
So canned pumpkin, you guys, is a big hit.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, we slice up pumpkins after Halloween and we save it and we use them.
yeah, and they love every kind of squash you can possibly imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Sense.
There
Oh,
goes
Frank the
Frank.
Tank just put it in there. It's from a Canadian French word meaning sunfish.
Crape.
Crape.
Crape. They don't look like a
Crape.
sunfish though.
No,
I
they
don't know. They're terrifying looking. Oh no, I'm thinking of walleye.
Oh yeah, the walleye.
Walleye are kind of terrifying.
Those are
Well, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Crappie's just crappie. Look at Frank. Frank, don't say you got it from Google. Just let people think you're super smart.
They're all underneath the cranberry. Look at that. They're climbing underneath.
Oh, yeah,
They're
they are.
underneath now.
They're like lifting it up. Yeah.
to carry it off.
Okay, we're going to do this different.
We hope so.
Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to dump them all over the floor. So go get the vacuum.
What are you doing? Just flip it over and I'll put it on the wood.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh, they stick on there like glue.
There you go.
There we
Okay, we
go.
can see that.
There you go. Yeah.
That's funny. That one was running off, and then he was like, "Wait a minute,
What?
Wait
I
a
smell something.
let me turn around."
Is that?
I like when my
pecan?
Hoffs take the whole minnow. I like when one
Yes.
Hoffman, the guy, grabs the whole minnow and starts to drag it off with
Drags it
like
off.
3 other, the tug of war.
Yeah.
They're all over that. Look at that. Wow. I did not think they'd eat that.
Yeah, they calmed right down.
That one ran to it.
I just saw that one just fly in there and
Just
stop.
ran to it. Yeah.
He's like, wait, there's food.
Milkbacks are one of my favorites. That's one of the other totally underestimated isopod. They're so good.
Yes.
They are underrated. Yeah. Little tanks.
Yeah. Just super. They've got good personality. The variation between the splotches on them.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody called them bird poop isopods the other day, and I thought, yeah. Once I
like
stopped
that.
laughing, I thought it was great.
They're still eating under there.
So is this like really good for them or not really?
Yeah, we just killed our whole colony because it's toxic to isopods.
Happy
Cranberry sauce.
Podsgiving, everybody.
All it is cranberries and fructose corn syrup and corn water.
Earlier, I texted Wally, and he said he was cleaning gecko poop, and I said, for the show, are you going to feed that for Podsgiving?
Ew.
And I just shook my head, just like, oh my gosh.
It's genius. You could have made a
So
pie
that's-
plate. You could have made a pie crust out of it.
That was
No.
exactly my thought. Genius.
Hey, there's a recipe on here for a chocolate cranberry fudge cake.
Oh,
Chocolate and cranberries.
it makes me reminds me of Homer. Oh,
Reminds you of Homer. Where's my timer on here? They changed this
I don't
too
think
much. There we go. Okay.
Hmm.
Did you guys bring snacks? Because I brought Asiago bread.
I ate them.
what
I
did
brought Asiago bread
Oh,
and
nice.
blackberry citrus Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I ate the candy.
This is brand new. It's game fuel, so it's probably delicious. We don't know yet. Cricket flour cheesecake. You could do that.
Oh, where's my German chocolate cake?
Yeah.
What do you got there,
promised
Russ?
me that for like
I have
ever.
not promised you anything.
Homemade pumpkin pie.
Homemade?
Yep.
Uh-uh.
Kelly made it today just for this. So
Mhm.
I told her you don't have to do that. You don't have to. You don't have to make one. And she did. Anyway.
She does have to do that.
Oh, that
Just
was
tell her,
nice.
like,
Oh,
that's appropriate.
Mm.
So next time, what do you want to have next time we come on? We'll have a fried chicken contest or something. And get her to make some fried chicken.
Next time it'll probably be my turn to cook.
Hey, fair. We'll just have Kelly on, and we'll talk about Star Wars.
Yeah. There you go.
And it'll be great. It'll be great. So guys, let's get into a topic. So we knew this episode, Podsgiving is never on topic. So whatever.
Ever.
It's just three buddies getting together to share some time. Which is exactly what the holiday's for.
Anybody who
Oh,
wants some, come take some, please.
I'm
You're
drooling.
welcome to have some.
I feel like I organized this too late because I wanted to do the pie passing thing again. Or the
Yeah.
plate passing. That was so fun last
That
year.
was so fun. I love that. I shall
Yeah.
remember that forever.
Laura says you're spoiled.
Well, I do have a pretty awesome wife.
Yeah, we've heard. She's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Lets you have all that stuff.
Yeah.
And keeps the stuff that, blueberry cereal for dinner. That's awesome. That is awesome. Speaking of blueberry, so wild caught versus captive bred. So, let's go over some benefits of captive bred. Let me put some animals in here so we're not just staring at Russ eating. There we go. Get in the net. Get a shot on the net, leaving her carpet. So I hear a lot now on YouTube. I'm seeing videos of people that are doing captive bred or wild caught. They're getting in wild caught animals and being super excited. And it's big keepers, it's well-known keepers. But the problem I see, I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is that uninformed people assume that that's the way to do it, is to get their animals wild caught. And I don't think that's, I think that's dangerous for the community. Just for the fact that that's how, generally that's how things get put on lists and regarded as not being able to get them anymore, generally. Like I understand that we get our wild caught specimens in so we can start captive colonies, right? Captive bred colonies.
Yeah.
But wow. Like you got all your stuff basically is captive bred, right, guys? I got you right as you could bite.
Yeah, I have some Acellus. I have some Lavis. Probably just those two. Hey, DEA, Cassandra. I don't have many wild caught. All of mine pretty much are captive bred.
Yeah, and I would say most of my stuff is definitely captive bred. I do have some wild caught stuff, but a lot of times, if I do get wild caught stuff, it is so I can figure out how to captive breed it. Like recently, I had brought in some wild caught water striders so I could try to breed them, and I did. And that kind of thing. So a lot of times I will take that and say, okay, now how can I figure out how to breed this? Then how can I disseminate that information so more people can be breeding them? That kind of thing.
Well, and I think those are great policies, yeah, because you want to have people either get the information or be able to do that. Any animal really that we get in from somewhere, the goal is to breed it and get it. So we have captive bred communities and not taking them out of the wild. Generally, water striders. I mean,
you could easily
everywhere
collect a million of them, but just the fact that whole idea of, okay, well, if we can be breeding in captivity, if there is an interest in keeping them, whatever it is, we should probably be learning how to captive breed it or determining that it can't be done. We need to do one or the other.
Yeah, like the pill millipedes is one of the ones. The Madagascar or the African ones are one of the big ones for me. I want them so bad. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean I'll only have them 9 months? That's still a lot of time. Let's get them in. No, that's not good. I think I want more of the content producers to be more responsible with how they present it, their wild caught specimens, that they're doing it as a breeding thing and the right way, generally, I guess, the right way for a good purpose and not just shipping these animals in because they want it. Because I feel like that could create a bigger market for that kind of a thing where they have like, I don't know, I talked to Ben Quintana a while ago and he's under the impression that like lemon blues basically don't exist in the wild anymore. Yeah, they're not really where they were found because people are just swiping them out of the wild to sell them.
Yeah.
And that's a shame.
Yeah.
And that's something so infinitesimal, like a little species of isopod. In the grand scheme of things, you kind of want to, part of me is like, who cares? And then the rest of me is like, no, that's really horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there are some things that, you can keep in mind. We have some species that are popular in the pet trade, say like Phidippus audax, the bold jumping spider. It lives now in plenty of places where it doesn't naturally occur. And so I don't feel at all bad if I decide to, I see one outside and I collect it. It's not native here. I'm not impacting native populations. I can collect that. I don't feel bad about it. So there are things like that. And then there are other things like certain species, if you are mindful of how much they are collected, where they're collected, you're mindful of the populations. I've talked to collectors who will say, people are really interested in this particular species of invertebrate that's mostly wild caught, but I'm not collecting from this area because I want to make sure this area is preserved. I only collect from areas where it's super abundant. I think that there's a continuum, there's one extreme where people just don't care and they're just ripping it out of the environment and they're destroying the environment at the same time and they're not conscious of the populations and sustainable yield. And then you have other people who are like, well, I collected there last year. They were super abundant there, but I'm going to leave that spot alone so that it can, the next 3 or 4 years, I'm not going to collect there. And when I do go back there, I'm going to make sure that the population has recovered, or I won't collect again. You have, that is a lot better than someone who just indiscriminately collects. And there are some species you can do that with more than others. Some you can't do that. You just can't. There's very little pressure that the population will sustain. And other species will bounce back very quickly. So there's something to be said for that as well, I think.
Oh, for sure. Like responsible collecting is one thing. But not everybody's in that headspace. And
Exactly.
It's, very dangerous.
Right.
So you have people that are greedy or want to, I don't know what the point would be.
That's it. It's greed. When you get to that point where people are just collecting as many as they can to make a quick buck. Exactly. There's a lot of that can happen and does happen.
Yeah, and it's horrible. The husbandry is not good, or they don't know what they're doing. They're just scooping them into buckets and shipping them out. Whatever, probably not the best. Like the ants here. I was talking with an ant keeper the other day. This is my colony here, guys, that I have up. This is the nursery. All those little white sleeping bags are babies. They're going to eclose and turn into actual ants probably in the next week or two. This is one little slice of her inside the nest of Sheila's cage there. But with ants, you're not collecting a colony. You're not taking a colony out of the wild. You're taking a queen for the most part. There are people that collect colonies, but you're taking like one queen out of 10,000 that had a flight, so it's not generally gonna cause any problems. And you still get, you can get the species that are invasive, which could be a good thing. If you're taking those out of the wild, that would be great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of issues that you can get into and all kinds of problems with it. But then when you have the ethical rewards of having the wild caught or the captive bred over that, I know the cost is a little higher, but the effort going into it is higher too. So it kind of balances out.
And there are other advantages too to the captive bred. There are these ethical concerns and these sustainability concerns, but we also have the fact that captive bred stock is often far more robust. Doesn't have the parasite loads that you're dealing with wild caught.
Yeah.
In many cases, depending on what kind of species we're talking about, they're often much easier to interact with. And that may be less true for invertebrates, but with like many vertebrates, if they're wild caught, sometimes they just remain more wild, whereas one that's bred in captivity can end up to be a lot more tame.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They're raised with people. People are just part of their life, whereas the wild caught, no. I don't know why I keep mixing it up. It's so weird. There's just a million benefits to get it wild caught or captive bred. I don't know why I keep flipping them over. You can. We have our people that are just huge breeders. There's all kinds of species you just can't get anymore. Wild caught. Some of the species that overrun our communities, leopard geckos, crested geckos, you just really can't get those anymore in the wild, which is good. I think we all kind of know the benefits. I would discourage people from those, from too many of the creators that have the wild caught focus. I've seen a couple recently that I was just, I don't know, the way that they presented is like, that's the way to do it. And they are prepared to do that. That's fine. But for them, I think it promotes too many people.
When we say, I'm going to go back like 10 steps here.
Yeah.
When you say that it's not beneficial to explore wild caughts, you're seeing a lot of people doing the YouTube videos, collecting isopods from the wild. I think that we need to clarify, and maybe I'm not understanding, exactly what you're saying. There's a lot of different wild caughts. There's, the powder pronounce this out in my backyard. There's, lemon frost. 5,000 miles away. So
Yeah.
I did, one of my very first videos was, what are the 5 best beginner isopods? And the number one that I came up with was wild caught. Go out to your backyard, collect some, bring them in, play around with them. If you make a mistake, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not, condoning making mistakes and dumping but if you're collecting from the wild, you have a lot to learn that way. And in setting up your new enclosure and talking to other people and doing research while you have a colony that really is a low cost option to captive bred, to isopods that you buy online or buy at reptile shows. And again, that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Things have changed a lot. So when we talk about wild caught, I want to be real clear that when I look at wild caught, I'm thinking that kind of go out and pick up a dozen isopods, under that brick or under that log in your backyard or at the park, bring them home and play around with them. The other side, and maybe this is what you mean, is the wild caught, meaning the exotics, out of the Philippines and things like that. And is it good or bad? Well, it's good that we see more species, but it has to be controlled. I think the worst thing that can possibly happen is that one of these isopods, I relate back to the reptile world, electric blues, great example, electric blues. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful this Lygodactylus williamsi is. The electric blue, just beautiful. We collected about 12, 13 years ago, so many that we decimated the population. And they stopped coming in, and CITES and control. And now, we a few years ago, they opened it up a little bit more. And now we're seeing them in the hobby because people are breeding them in captivity. So we're not going to see animals like that unless we get them from the wild. But I guess my take on it is, as long as everything's done in a controlled manner, especially with something like an electric blue or a lemon frog, any of the really significant isopods, unless we're doing it in a controlled manner, it's not good.
Right.
I agree. Yeah, I guess I'm talking more about the this is wild caught right here. This guy, 100% wild caught. Aren't you, demon? Yeah, I guess I'm talking more of the exotics and responsible collecting and all of that. But yeah, fish are the ones that get clobbered. But we want to promote that captive bred if we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like isopods or whatever, your water striders. Go get some. Go get some. Don't go nuts. I mean, you can't. If you want to sit there all day and collect vulgari, like maybe find something else to do. You need like 10.
Yeah.
You need like 10. Or sort out the ones with more yellow spots,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it where it can be reasonable, and then there's unreasonable ways to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like if our isopods that we found in our yard were more valuable, people would go bananas. You wouldn't see them after a couple of years. There'd be crazy crazy capture techniques and all of that for them.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? Whirligig beetles. Am I finding keeping critters outside? Keeping them for a few hours. That's fun too. Yeah. See, my garter snakes, I keep thinking of catching one of the garter snakes in the yard in the summer or in the spring when they come out and there's the babies. But I don't know. I like them better outside. I think it's more special to find them outside in my yard. We probably have hundreds in my neighborhood. It wouldn't hurt anything to take one in. I don't think you're supposed to, right?
It depends on your state and various things.
I think Illinois has a thing because we were talking about spotted turtles the other day. I don't know if you guys have those by you or if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But I know this spotted turtle. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's this little green turtle that has yellow or red spots. I guess there's red spot ones. I've never seen them. Super personable. They get about this big. Really cool. But the pet trade decimated them. So Illinois, I have a friend. He's going to be on in a couple months, but he was trying to get with the state and get a collection together to do like a program to release them back into the wild, and basically got shut down. They all but like threatened to take everything he had if he kept
Oh.
pushing it. So he had to get out of that. But you can't have them. You're not allowed to own them without very specific permits in Illinois. I still want one really, really bad because they're super cool. But obviously captive bred, obviously.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of reptiles in Illinois that are rare, at least rare. So they're on lists. Illinois is pretty strict about a lot of their stuff.
So if you saw an ad for a captive bred, would you buy that animal?
The spotted turtle?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If I could keep it. If I had the permits, yes, I absolutely would.
There you go.
Like because of the show and because of my friends, could I get one tomorrow? Absolutely. I could order one tomorrow if I wanted, or go pick one up. Like to go to Wisconsin, you can go to Wisconsin and get them kind of all day. Not a big deal. They're not even expensive, like $100. But don't do that. If they find you, you'll be in trouble. So don't do that. But yeah, I was going to look into the permit situation. I don't know what you have to do to get it, but they're that cool. Like they're that. The one at Brookfield Zoo, the one I have at Brookfield Zoo, I took a video recently when we were just there. It follows your finger. It comes up to the glass when it sees you, like it wants to interact with people. And that's everyone that they've had that I've seen there over the years. I've been going there 50 years. Every single time I've been there, they have a spotted turtle. And every single time it's all about coming to see you.
That's cool.
So yeah, I think that would make a great pet, a captive bred. And I'm positive that those are captive bred too. Obviously they're not going to pull them out of the wild for that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Check with your states. Even if you're getting captive bred, check with your state laws. Don't get busted out. Right.
Yeah.
It's not worth losing your whole collection. Possibly the person you bought it from's collection. It's a big commotion. Huh. Yeah.
I had that happen to a friend back in my fish keeping days. We used to do a lot of wild collecting, like darters and things like that. And we'd take photos and then put them right back in. And a friend of a friend had gone with us one time, and none of us knew it, but he collected I can't remember the name, but it has a star on its head. And, 50 miles from here, it's very, very common. But in the area that we collected, it's rare and endangered and protected. He brought a pair home to breed them, and the DNR found out about it and took his whole collection. Knock, knock, knock. Can we come in? Yeah, we're gonna take your whole collection. And I believe he had 50, 60 tanks of expensive tropical fish.
Wow.
That's crazy. Because they take everything you have.
Gone.
Yep. And mostly they euthanize it. It's just awful. Awful. I don't know. There were videos recently of people getting their collections euthanized in Florida last couple of years. And
Oh, yeah.
it's just crazy because they pass these laws that if you're not paying attention, you could be in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, even the ants, ants can be super invasive if they escape and all of that. So they're very, very strict about what you can get. And again, do I know people who know people? Yes. Am I ever going to do that? And they don't really do that either. Yes. Because it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. But there are definitely people that are willing to sell stuff to you. So just be careful. Don't do your homework. Don't just talk to Jim online who's like, oh yeah, no, I can sell you silver ants from Africa. I can absolutely do that. Don't block Jim, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Had a few of those messages too. Yeah.
Sure.
Would it be cool to have them? Yes. I just got a message from somebody from John in Uruguay. John in Uruguay, who collects live and dried beetles.
Yep.
This cat is so sorry, guys. This cat is so just clouds of fur coming up out of my face.
So did you respond to him? I got the same message today around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah. I just said nope. Then he sent me a friend request too. And I was like, no, thanks. It was Cassiopeides something, I think was the name.
I saw dried beetles and I saw Uruguay and I blocked immediately.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. No, thanks. We've had a lot of bots. Watch your Facebook pages. We had a lot of bots
Yep.
trying to get into ISO buddies in the last like 2 days,
Yep.
and repeatedly. You'll decline it and it'll come right back. So just watch, because there's a lot of bad actors that'll, either you just throw your money at them, or they're going to send you something that's basically dead or not what it was supposed to be. Or those are the guys that if they are collecting an actual animal, it's going to be the worst way possible. So, Frank's a bot.
Frank's a bot.
I don't have any mods anymore. I can't even delete them. I got Aunt Sandy. She's here. She'll take care of it. She'll take care of that Wafflebot 2000. So yeah, don't lose your stuff this year. Don't do it. Don't do it. What else was I going to say? I think that's it. I think that's all we need to say about wild caught versus. Most people know the difference. I feel like most people are responsible.
Yeah.
And no, I just, the videos, the content creators that have the videos where they're either getting crazy wild caught stuff that you just can't get without crazy permits, but they never explain that part. They never explain the permitting part. They never explain, like, this is the steps I had to go through. This is how prepared I am. I've been looking at this for years. They'll say, like, oh, I've wanted these since I was a kid, but they don't really get into the steps. And I think that's irresponsible. It's a lot like who was the guy that just got bit by that brown taipan?
Oh, yeah. I don't
Snake.
remember the name, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I hate those videos where they're just free handling dangerous animals, whatever it is.
Yep.
And somebody's going to try to do that. Like, somebody in the wild is going to try to do that, and they're going to get hurt really bad. So honestly, those videos, I'm always like, oh, get him. Let that alligator just give that guy a taste, just not to kill him, just, mess his hand up a little bit, something like that. Get him, show people that it's dangerous. Brian. Oh yeah, Brian, the guy who got bit was named Brian something. I guess he's horrible. He was a horrible keeper. His animals were all in awful shape. His facility was awful. European YouTubers with amazing collections are more likely to explain permitting than in the US.
Yeah, Jen.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are, Jen. And they have less permits. I think they need less permits in Europe. They just get stuff.
And it does depend on what they're keeping too, and
Yep.
which part of Europe. But
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
The stuff I see from my European friends and their collections is like blows my mind. Legal importation. I bet that would be interesting. Yeah, I could. I'll have to see what I can do about that. I don't really know who I would talk to about that. Wally, what are you doing next week? No.
I've
Nothing.
I've talked to Ben a couple of times about that. The problem is that nobody wants to put it out there and have that kind of exposure, if that makes any sense in the world.
Yeah.
You're treading on some pretty gray area there, and the problem is that it could change tomorrow too. So you put out a video, here's the explanation, and tomorrow it changes, and everybody's in the wrong like that. So
yeah,
that's not an easy subject to jump on.
true.
It is. Yeah, you are opening yourself up as a target. If someone is watching it, they might look into you a little harder than they would.
Yeah. And I
Which
threw
is
Ben's
inviting.
name out there, not to say that he should have done a video. I'm saying he's a smart guy, and there's a reason why he would be hesitant to do something like that. And I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, yeah. I would even want to reach out and see. Was that fungus gnats? Wally, was that just fungus gnats? What was that? You were.
Oh, I don't know. It
Me or
was just-
Nanette?
Oh, I couldn't tell whose hand that was.
That's
Wasn't that
Nanette.
just playing with milkbacks?
Yeah,
Why are you biting? Why are you biting me?
it's a little tiny one. Little guys. They're all eating.
Good, 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 good.
So the cranberry sauce here has turned my wood red.
Good.
So yeah,
That's
good
quality
dye.
stuff.
Is that red dye number 5?
It doesn't say it has it in there.
How are you doing? Are you still mad?
Well, not when
Yeah.
you read it upside down. I bet you if you turned the can upside
I
down.
was reading it
Okay.
right.
Don't do
Those
it
are
now.
little tiny babies. And
No, don't look now.
You disturb the gelatin. Don't look
Yeah.
now.
No.
It'll go right in your lap.
Here, you want to try?
You're fine. You're fine. Say hi to the people. Say, ow. Ow.
No,
That's my face.
There's no
It's a
red
toy.
dye.
your nose is a toy.
You're gonna say hi to the people?
There's
Are you mad?
28 grams of carbohydrates in this.
Hi. Ow! Yeah, this is. So we found this cat. This is a wild caught.
Wow.
Apparently, we were at my daughter's bus stop and we played with him for a minute before she got on the bus, and then he followed me home. So I just played with him a little while, got him some food and water, went inside and left him outside, figuring he'd just go home. Ow! Ow! 3 hours later, he's been vaccinated. 3 hours later, I went outside to get something, and he came firing out from under the bush. He was just waiting for me for 3 hours.
Bro.
So we brought him inside and put out, notices like, hey, is this anybody's cat? We asked around the neighborhood. Because, of course, I put it on Facebook, and I had, ow! You're the worst. We had like 50 people immediately. Oh, yeah, that's my cat. Oh, do you have any pictures of you with the cat? Oh, yeah. That's not even a Siamese cat that you're showing me right now. That's not your cat.
That's a raccoon.
But apparently there's like a some kind of a puppy mill style thing with Siamese cats in my neighborhood.
Oh.
So the assumption from people in my area is that he escaped from there.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but
Cat trafficking.
yeah, sad. He's a demon, but he plays rough, which I kind of like, but I don't want him to do that with my daughter.
Right.
That's the cat distribution system.
Get back.
Yeah, Frank, I don't like the hybrid thing either. I am a fan of cohabbing, but I try to really do my homework. But I've had people remind me that it's, yes, they would encounter themselves in the wild, but not in the quarters that we're putting them in. You could have a massive tank and they're still not going to encounter each other that often. So it adds a lot of stress. So I'll do it with stupid animals, but not like anything even remotely intelligent.
I cohab my dart frogs with morning geckos.
Sure.
And that seems to work out pretty well. But there are certain pairings that seem to work, and some that really are a little bit more complex and potentially hazardous.
Yeah, it can get tough. Don't tell dart frog people that, Russ. If you're a dart frog person, you're watching this. Russ is kidding. He means stuffed animal dart frogs.
The squishables.
The squishables. I love a squishmallow or whatever it is. I love them.
Oh, I am
They're
so
soft. If somebody can make me a mattress out of those, like a king size mattress out of squishable material, whatever that is.
Crystal probably could with the 50,000 of them she has in her room now.
My God.
She has one that is, I don't know, what is it? Almost 3 feet. I mean, it's huge. It's massive.
See, they have a beanbag chair that would fit my daughter.
Waffle
That's a
squishable.
squishmallow or whatever. So we're definitely getting her that for Christmas, How now brown cow come from dairy cows?
They don't.
Yeah, they're different species, right?
The
They're
hound
not-
owls that I was showing there, are true Lavis. They're descended from caramel Lavis, which are descended from wild type Lavis that Kyle Candelian collected. So they are true Lavis, unlike dairy cows and milkbacks, which are
okay.
separate species. Dairy cows and milkbacks are the same species as each other, but they're not the same species as true Lavis. That has been confirmed now.
There's so much recategorizing going on with isopods that it's insane. It's insane because I think that the hobby just blew up too fast.
Yeah. Suddenly there were tons of species out there that nobody knew what was going on, and pretty fascinating what they're finding out now.
It is crazy. Talking to some of the guys that are kind of on the front lines of the reclassifications and the doing the homework and the science on it it blows my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
And they don't mean to, but you'll be like, oh yeah, I got these whatever Cubaris Panda King, and they're like, they're not even Cubaris anymore. Wait, what?
Right.
And
Cubaris was just sort of a garbage bin. Like, we don't know what to call this, and it's exotic. And if we call it Cubaris, people will want to buy it. So that's that genus.
Yeah, there's hardly any real Cubaris. Now that I look at it, there's maybe 20% of the species that we found. or that we labeled cubaras are not
Or
even.
now have been reclassified. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Next
the
one.
Cubaris orange crumbles. Those are pretty cool.
See, I've been out of the hobby too long. I almost didn't get that joke. I was like, just laugh. Russ laughed. Just laugh. Just laugh. And then it occurred to me. Okay, I get it. I get it now.
There was another one that I heard that was kind of like that, and it was hilarious. I can't remember what it is now. Darn it! But anyway, it was that same idea.
We're such dorks. Still,
Yes.
sometimes I'm gonna give myself a wedgie. Yeah, we're laughing at this orange crumble cubaras. Like, and to us, it's legitimately funny. But on the other hand, like, I gotta give myself a wedgie now. It's just awful. Chocolate scented calculators. Oh, I thought he was talking about isopods, but Frank is only ever talking about food.
Frank talks about food all the time.
Oh, tarantulas. Yeah, he does. Tarantulas get reclassified now too.
So many things are being reclassified, but yeah. What was that? Oh yeah, someone was saying with tarantulas, one of the big problems with the wild caught thing, I was going to bring this up, is that there are lots of species of tarantulas that are easily captive bred. They are readily available captive bred, and yet wild caught specimens are showing up in big box pet stores for sale. And the way that they know that they're wild caught is that someone will buy one from the pet store, and it will a few months later or a few weeks later, whatever, it will produce a fertile sack of eggs.
Oh,
So
sure.
there's, despite the fact that there are plenty in the hobby being produced to be able to supply the hobby, there's still some shady collecting going on, probably because it's cheaper.
I want to know how to approach my pet store. I have a pet store that I go to around me that I love. They're a great pet store. You can get awesome stuff there, especially their fish. They have all kinds of crazy fish, and they work with people and sell responsibly, right? So they're not going to sell arowana to a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Unless they establish that that's a really advanced keeper 10-year-old. It has the facilities to keep an arowana. But at the same time, they still will supply or have out sulcata hatchlings. And I've been like, come on, man. Like, try to be gentle with it. Like, well, maybe don't do that. But I think it might be time to up the game on that. Like, how would you approach that with somebody?
That is a good question.
How do you approach the pet store selling?
Yeah,
something
like just to be like, hey, maybe don't do that because it's horribly irresponsible. And the only people that buy it from you are people that don't know any better. So what are you doing?
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
If they're making money, I don't think there is an approach.
Yeah, they're not going to care.
unfortunately, yeah.
You know, unless it's illegal, unless you have that option, go down that avenue. But if it's not illegal, you know, it's like
not
we
illegal.
do reptile shows. We do reptile shows, and we'll see a 10-gallon tank filled with 20 leopard geckos being sold for $10 a piece, you know, over this bark, you know, substrate. What do? Do you go to the show organizer? Do you talk to the person? It's really not going to do any good, you know?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I guess part of it is just, sometimes going to the source, it feels like that's something we could do, but sometimes it's not what we can do. And what we can do is educate, but not in that venue, but educate in a wider sense, so that, you know, if 100 people or 1,000 people see a video saying this could happen, this isn't a great thing.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in my case, like 20 people will watch the video that I do about.
Well, you know, anybody who sees it, as long as they're being educated. And sometimes I think that's something I wanted to bring up, if it's okay, about the wild caught.
Yeah.
You know, I will keep things like, not in large numbers, but I will keep velvet ants. And velvet ants don't breed in captivity, right?
Yep.
So I will keep velvet ants. I don't keep large numbers of them, but I will once in a while keep some, and I will use them in educational presentations during which I explain, you know, these are not aggressive. Don't go out to harm them. You know, a lot of people go out of the way to step on them and whatever, kill them because they hear they have a potent sting. And while they do have a potent sting, they're very unlikely to use it. They're not aggressive at all. And so in these presentations, when I give them, I will explain, this is what this animal is, and it's not aggressive. And if you do see one in the wild, you don't need to worry about it. If you leave it alone, it'll leave you alone. And I feel like, to some degree, keeping a very limited number of them and educating people about them in a way that will help them to care more about them, hopefully, and have a better attitude when they do see one in the wild. I think a limited degree of that is justified. If I kept, 400 of them, I don't think I could justify it. But if I have 2 or 3 that I, every few years I get 1 or 2 or something like that, use them like that, I think that can be a justified reason to keep something wild caught, perhaps.
Good call.
I think, and the educational thing, I'm not against that at all. Like pulling something out of your locale, because you're not going to get a tank full. You're not doing that. I don't know anybody that would go through the hassle. Well, I guess there are some people out there that go through the hassle of getting them to sell, to other people. But even then, I can't imagine it's on a large. What's the market for that?
Right. There are a few people who keep those pets, and I think that's probably okay as long as we make sure we're doing it sustainably, and that's fine. Someone's collecting sustainably, that's great. It's when you get to the point where there's, like with hermit crabs, huge scale removal from the wild. And now, of course, we have some people who are starting to capture breed them, which is great. And people who are super responsible about it and informed about it will go to get their crabs that way, and they'll pay a lot more money for it. But there are still the uninformed people, or the people who don't care, who are going and buying them at the big box stores where they're just pulling them out of their natural habitat. And you know that huge proportions of them are dying before they get sold, and even bigger proportions perhaps after they get sold.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, a lot of them are near death when you get them. Like I'm happy in my town, the Petco and the PetSmart, the staff that they have are really informed and care. That's another one of those industries where they take advantage of people that love animals and don't pay the people that know what they're doing enough to stay, so you get some minimum wage Joe that just wants, oh no, I work with hamsters, but they don't care at all. So I don't know. It's tough, but I would buy, I buy fish and stuff from those two, but I don't really care to buy much else because it just perpetuates. Do you know what I mean? It perpetuates those big breeders, those big guys that haul all this stuff out of the wild. I have hermit crabs. They're all adopted from homes where they weren't wanted anymore. That's cool, Jen.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. You can give them a better life than they would have, and a longer life than they would have had.
I was watching. Are you talking about the breeders? Are you talking about the Crab Central Station?
Yeah. There's 1 or 2 people who are doing it now, and
their setup is so cool.
Yeah,
so cool. Like dedicate a whole room to hermit crabs. That's an obsession and awesome.
Right, and the fact that they cracked the code and they're producing them, and it's a lot of work, but there are dedicated people who will do that, and dedicated people who will pay for that work that has been done, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. I liked it. Weren't they hatching them out in like the jellyfish tank?
Like the Chrysal tank?
Like the circular jellyfish? Yeah.
I think so, because they have parts of their larval life stages when they're zoea that are very vulnerable, and they have to be careful about how they're treated. And so I think that was, if I remember correctly, that's what they used to keep them safe during that time.
So crazy to raise some larval marine animal.
They're eating like live baby brine shrimp and stuff like that, which to an aquarist, it doesn't seem that weird, but to someone who's keeping, hermit crabs at the pet store, that's they buy from the pet store, they don't even think that they even have a life stage like that. They don't even know.
No idea. They barely even bother to get new shells. Those people. You see their hermit crab living with the like Finding Nemo, or the second one with the coffee mug on their back, or piece of PVC pipe.
Cranberry sauce can.
Yeah. Still half full of cranberry.
Yep.
Just in case. Yeah, those hermit crab setups are really cool, Frank. I like to see people that take animal and give it the utmost of what it needs. You know, like they take a lot of time and put a lot of energy into recreating a real biome for them. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be pretty rare to see that, or you would see like a really crazy setup for corals or something that was out of this world. But now, like to see it for hermit crabs, you don't think about it. You think of hermit crabs as like general public, like, oh, whatever. I think about them as much as I think about hamsters, you know. But now there's channels with hamsters. There's a lady with hamsters. She got 5 hamsters in this room, and these gigantic setups, and the hamsters can come down this crazy stairway, and then there's a big playpen area for them, and they can all meet up there. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. With the good and bad that social media bring to us is kind of amazing. But one benefit is that we see when they have these truly amazing, inspiring setups, over the top kind of things that help people realize, oh, I could do a lot more for whatever pet it happens to be because other people are.
Yeah.
And now maybe some of those people will. It's pretty cool.
It's a really good point. I think we're seeing it more and more with, the tropical fish hobby, saltwater tanks and thousands of dollars. Now it's freshwater tanks are being aquascaped and making really nice display tanks. And you see that, on TikTok and Instagram. And I think that that's becoming a trend. More people are, just like you said, Russ, I think more people are seeing that as an example, even though, Europe has been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah.
We're starting to see more and more of that in the fish hobby and trying to replicate it as best as we, and that's not everybody, but I think that then people that try that then share more and it becomes more of a trend that way.
And the standard can gradually be raised. We're raising the bar.
We see that in the reptile hobby as well, more enrichment, bigger enclosures, plastic tubs are out, and the 4 foot by 4 foot by 2 feet enclosures are in, which is a good thing.
Right. Yeah, I think Marimba Girl hit it on the head. Like enrichment, I don't know, it's the most important word to me in the hobby, in all the hobbies, and I never can remember the word enrichment. It's going to be wild caught and captive bred flipped again. I think enrichment is important for any animal that you have. So even so much as moving the cork bark hides in your isopod bins, or stirring up the leaves, or whatever. Like, I think that that's important. Like, I don't think of their brains as being that big of a deal, but I don't think it's important. To me, it would be, their range would not be that box. So you're stimulating their travel instinct to move around their environment.
Which one?
Or giving them novel foods like cranberry sauce or pumpkin pie. It's a form of enrichment too.
I think a lot of people are going to be.
I'm sorry. In our isopod enclosures, we throw those Squishmallow toys for them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have a Squishmallow isopod in my daughter's room. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I don't think it's an actual Squishmallow. I think it's one of the like knockoffs, like the different ones. And I'm probably saying it wrong. The rate in cars a few years ago, rats in cars.
Oh, those rats that drive the cars. I've seen those on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. That's a very interesting form of enrichment.
The design and training that went into that is crazy. And the rats just get in the car and drive now.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'll be in the kitchen. Beep, beep. No.
As long as they're bringing dinner back here, that's okay.
Yeah.
Rats go for takeout.
Yeah, go for takeout.
They should train rats to run DoorDash franchises.
Yes. You fly, I buy.
In my neighborhood, I think that's what they have. So let's see. I don't want to be the star here.
They're like $15 to $50 for those things.
For an isopod Squishmallow thing.
See, look, she's already looking it up. Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
the closest that I have is I have a little finger puppet. I can't really reach it from here. Oh, no. I have this little beanbag one. Hold on.
Are we still talking about isopod enrichment? You're getting your finger puppet?
Oh, there's one, yeah.
Yeah, this is a little isopod. my daughter found this for me and was like, Daddy, you have to have this. Little blind bag. It's like you don't know what you're getting till you open it. It's like a little bean bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, isopods are great, right? They're adorable. What were we saying? Enrichment?
These guys scroll right up to the edge and then they turn around and go back.
Yep. We were talking about classifications, and somebody posted, "Where do you find out about classifications?" And I wanted, if you don't mind, just for 2 minutes, go back and talk about that.
Yeah.
The problem is that that's going to happen in any hobby, any animal classification. It happens all the time with geckos. You go to the next day and they're reclassified to something else. And sometimes it goes back and forth. The barking geckos have gone back and forth between Nephurus and Underwoodosaurus thousands of times now, maybe a dozen. So how do you know? I don't know if it really matters. In my mind, I don't care. Call it a barking gecko, call it a mealy, because the genus is changing. As long as we all can talk the same language. But if you really, really want to know, the best place to go is probably somebody that's more in touch with that, or go to Google Scholar, or go to academia. And those are really good places to find out, what animals have been reclassified to. Just wanted to touch base.
Yeah, a good point.
Was that what you were just talking about last week with Sam? Right before I came in on your show, were you guys talking about Google Scholar and that? Where was I here?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming on next month.
Nice.
So we're going to talk tortoises. You already have too many plushies. No such thing, Marimba girl. No such thing. We have so many stuffed animals in my house. We could, I don't know, start a museum probably.
We have too many.
Yeah. I
we
believe
as
it.
in Crystal, or
Crystal.
You mean we? As
I think
in the whole
she
family?
has 42 of those squishmallow things.
Well, the number's coming down. That's pretty good. It's already down like 8 since we started the show. So that's a good trend.
Did you say 50 or did I say 50?
You probably are. You said 50. Who knows?
Who knows? There's plenty. Don't let Waffles the elf get to them. Is he still around?
Oh, he's around.
I never did. Find him.
I can neither confirm nor deny the fact that Waffles is still in our house.
I never did find him in the videos. So you did a good job.
No, you didn't look hard enough.
You didn't look.
Yeah.
I didn't really look. To be fair,
for a while.
Right.
I would look when you mentioned his name and be like, "Oh, is he there?" No, you don't see him. All right.
It's been 2 minutes. I haven't found him yet. I'm done.
I give up. Yeah, I tried for about a half an hour the scavenger hunt that you guys had, the internet scavenger hunt where you went to different sites to find them, and I was like, I'm out. I can't. I'm done. I'm gonna wind up buying stuff, and that's not good.
I'm going to tell you, the very first year that we hid Waffles, I talked to I can't remember 5 or 6 people, and they hid Waffles on their sites. One person told me it's on my site. You need to go find it. I spent a half hour on her site going through her pages, and I couldn't find Waffles until she finally said, well, you have to go down there, and then you have a sliding bar. You have to push that sliding bar all the way to the... What?
Oh, my gosh. She hit it great.
Stealth.
Right. I said that's exactly what we want. We want to make it so hard that whoever wins really has worked really, really hard. So
I want to tell you guys what I'm in for. So this is a problem with keeping ants. If some of Russ's people are here, some of Wally's people that aren't used to my show, we've talked about the ants a million times. If you can see on the top of this screen, just above that brown, that's a heat cable. You can see all that white there. There's like a couple ants, and then you see just white, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are all pupa. Those are all about to be adult ants. And that's just this is a small little slice of this section. Yeah, this is like the nursery where they grow up, basically. So every so often I have to cull. I'd say give them a haircut. And so that's like I upset them, and then I get the shop vac, and we get rid of some of them.
Have you ever thought about keeping the horned lizards?
From what I understand from talking to horned lizard people,
Yeah.
One adult horned lizard could wipe out this colony in like a couple months. The colony couldn't produce fast enough to even this. I think she's back to about 6,000. She was at about 10,000 ants when I put her in the. So for the folks that haven't seen this, there's other videos on my channel about this tank. It's a 120-gallon tank connected to a 30-gallon tank through some branches that are attached to my ceiling, and they can get up to the branches and then back down into the other tank. And then the 120-gallon is a paludarium, so there's fish.
So you come out of the tank into the other one?
Yeah.
Not enclosed?
Don't tell Nanette. Oh, it's not enclosed. No, it's free.
Wow.
They are enclosed in the sense that there's a barrier that they can't cross usually. I had a friend over the other day and he's like, "What's this ant doing?" And I was like, "Oh no," because there were like 3 on the floor. And I said, "That's not a good sign." So there was they had just figured out how to get over one piece of the barrier. So I had to fix that real quick while he was there. But he was laughing. He's like, "You have all the equipment to fix it right here, like right on site." Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, it was a lot of work. This is like what you guys were talking about. We were talking about earlier, is giving them the best possible life. And this is an ant colony, so they've been 4 years now. 4 years, I think I've had her. Yeah, but when I moved her, it was an epic kind of a moment for me to let her go into this 100-gallon too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool that you've done that and you've expanded and so on over time. So even the ant colony gets enrichment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I change things up for her and move things around as much as I can. Yeah. So she's very defensive. So she will come right at you, attack you. I had to fix the waterfall the other day, and I have to get the whole thing out. It's like 25 pounds. I made it out of concrete. And to get it out of there, and they're attacking you the whole time, and you're trying not to drop it because that would be bad. And then you have to fix it and deal with all the ants that came with you out of the tank. So it's it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But this was inspired by keepers on YouTube, Yeah. Ants Canada. If you guys don't know who Ants Canada is, the earlier stuff. Yeah.
He does some pretty insane setups.
His newest thing, I don't know if you guys have seen, he's got a series where he has a 1,000-gallon vivarium.
Mm-hmm.
He has this whole facility he built for his animals and his show. So it's 1,000-gallon vivarium, and then that wasn't enough. So he has a second floor on the facility. So he made another, like a bigger vivarium up above it. And then there's a thing that connects them. There's like a bridge that connects them. It goes through the floor to the second floor of the building. And wow. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really a cool setup. So if I could get up to, 10 million viewers, I promise to do that. Okay, guys? I promise to do that.
Good night. Everybody subscribe.
Everybody subscribe. Let's get this. Let's get that gold button. And I'll move to Thailand or somewhere where it's like super cheap to live and go nuts. And go nuts and import all that stuff. Because in the Philippines, the ratio of money is insanely it's like being extra rich, I guess.
Off balance,
yeah. But how fun would that be to have a tank with so much different life that you could literally walk into if you chose to?
That is my dream. Someday I want to do that.
That'd be so cool. Just turn your kids' room into that once they move out, Russ. They'll get scholarships, right? You got smart kids.
That way they don't move back in.
There's no place to go.
They come to stadium to pull out. You come over for the holidays, you got the pull-out couch. There you go.
There you go.
You'll be fine. We put snakes under there, so just be careful. Just be careful.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize this until this moment. But Angie was asking, Wally, what do you do in your spare time? And I thought that was kind of a remote, tangent kind of a question. And then I just happened to, I can't get on camera here. My fit for tonight is things I do in my spare time. I never connected it. Well, the things that I do, I've got to tell you, my fit tonight is things I do in my spare time. It's all about geckos.
There you go.
All right.
Oh my
This is
God,
a
that's
Julie
just too
Bergman.
funny.
Yeah, I know.
Things you do in your spare time is the things you do as a career. It's awesome.
Yes.
That's how you become awesome at what you do. Is it's your passion. You do it all day, every day.
He's
You
just
know.
kind of
That's true.
talented.
That's true.
So your spreadsheet.
Angie, good Lord, Wally. Yep, that's a Wally moment.
So, guys, I've known Wally a little while. You might not know this trivia about him, but his original spreadsheet hobby turned into isopod and gecko hobby. He needed something to make spreadsheets about, so he started keeping geckos and breeding them. And then that wasn't enough, so then isopods showed up. Then that was enough, so they started selling food and mixes and calcium supplements and all that. So, yeah.
It
Yeah,
all started
fish.
with a spreadsheet with a list of what should I do with recording things on a spreadsheet.
I don't know if you guys have watched Futurama. I think of Hermes a little bit with Wally all the time.
What?
So, yep. A little
Well, that was-
bureaucracy, a little Jamaican jerk, you know. It's good.
Wow.
Some jerk chicken. He loves his spreadsheets. He loves his spreadsheets, Wally.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
See, it's
I'll
good.
buy
It's
that.
good. Hermes is one of the best characters on that show. Can we all convince Wally to watch the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob?
No.
Never seen one episode.
I don't think so. I think if he's made it this far without SpongeBob, he's going to be okay.
I'm gonna be
Yes,
okay.
He is.
Yeah.
Or, I can't.
He's
I
not
can't get
missing
any better
anything.
at this point. That and Bluesies. I've never seen one episode of Bluesies.
Bluesies, huh? I can tell.
Yeah.
It's not the name of the show, Wally.
Nor that Star Wars thing with Captain Kirk. I've never watched that either.
You know. Oh, Russ, you're gonna love it. Sorry, I gotta share this moment. So I joined social media. I joined Blue Sky, and so
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of people are leaving Twitter to go to this Blue Sky, and I didn't know that when I signed up. I just heard it was like a kinder Twitter. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mark Hamill just joined, and so I followed him,
Cool.
and because he left Twitter, I guess.
That's
So
Captain Kirk in
I
real
started
life.
following him, and he posted about, I don't remember his phrasing, but he said something about how he left X, and they were calling him XX users, but he called it something else. I forget what he called it. And I commented, "Go get him, Han Solo," and he liked it. So I got a like from Mark Hamill, and I'm super excited. It's like the biggest accomplishment of my life so far. And I told my daughter, I said, step up your game because this just beat you as a big accomplishment. So I didn't tell her that. I'll tell her when she's older.
Yeah.
She won't get the joke yet. I'll tell her when she's older. So yeah, I think I'm best friends with Mark Hamill now. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's how.
There you go.
And
That's how I got to be friends with Wally. So that just shows. That's just
There you
that's
go.
just there.
that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. And the fact that the levels of irony in that joke, I love it. Because
Yeah.
he did actually voice Han Solo at one point, but he's not known for being Han Solo. I love it. That's awesome.
I didn't know he voiced Han Solo.
Yeah,
I didn't
apparently he did the voice for Han Solo in some of the post-quills.
Shut up. That's awesome. I've got to check that out because I know he's done a lot of voice work. And
Yeah,
I told my coworker, this kid I work with, and he's like, "The Joker?" And I was like, "What? Oh, yeah, yes, yeah, the Joker. Yeah, Batman the Animated Series. Yeah."
Yeah.
So, yeah, extra famous layers there. So fun.
This is like 1 degree of separation now. We kind of almost know, Mark Hamill.
yeah.
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 I mean, you guys are famous now because of me. So,
Yep.
like, you're there, like 7 levels of Kevin Bacon or whatever degrees. All right, we're getting on to the 1.5 hour mark here, and I know in Utah it's like Thursday right now, so time zones. So, Wally, let's talk about 12 SDOC.
Oh my gosh.
Boom! I did it right.
12. I'll explain it real quick. 12 Supreme Days of Christmas, a giveaway that we do at the end of every single year. It starts the day after Thanksgiving and it runs before Christmas. We always want Christmas to be family time, not reptiles and stuff like that. So it's a giveaway. We have donors that donate gifts such as reptiles and reptile supplies, all kinds of cool stuff. And during the 12 Supreme Days of Christmas, about every other day, we ask the donors to kind of talk about their gifts, and then we give away the gifts. Last year, and I hate numbers, but it's the only way that we can really measure this thing. Last year, we had 125 donors. We had 500 gifts, and we had over $60,000 donated to the 12 Supreme Days of Christmas. So it's a fun time. We need to, the one thing that I would ask right now is participate. And I guess I would ask two things: participate and share the event so that we can get more people involved. It's the best. I think it's one of my favorite things to do because it brings the community together. I go on Facebook and I see people talking about it and talking together and asking good questions of each other, not about the 12 Supreme Days of Christmas, but I know that they've met during the event. So that's what warms my heart.
And there is the donation end of it is given right back to the community. There is no profit on your end whatsoever.
No cost to participate. We made very clear that there's no cost to participate. No. So when you win a gift, you don't have to pay shipping. You don't have to pay. It's not a, Groupon. It's you win this gift. So that's kind of special to me as well.
It is awesome.
Russ has been donating, all 25 years, right? No, not that long.
25 years.
We're on our 13th year this year.
Yeah, we are.
That's insane to even think about that. But Russ has been a donor for a long time. Thank you very much, Russ.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Happy to do that.
It's a very big deal.
Very cool thing for the community.
They're still eating.
Thank you.
I donate my likes and shares.
There you go. That's what we need. I wish you would participate more, win a prize or two.
I don't have a whole lot of time, but if you're I did find out before the show, guys, Wally's giving away. There's one prize so far. It's 168 crested geckos in a box. So
I'm going to turn the camera. I'm going to show you the box. It's a big box. Hold on just a second.
It's donated by that guy from Uruguay. So it's probably totally legit, right? It's probably totally legit.
It's from Somalia.
He is going to need your social security number, mother's maiden name, and blood type. So, but yeah.
And you get my firstborn.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, it's about time they left home, Wally. No, I'm kidding. Anything to get the kids out of the house. My daughter decided to tell me that she's leaving the second she turns 18. She's moving out. And I was like, am I that bad? Like,
so you got that going for you.
Yeah, I was kind of sad to hear that.
Did you pack her bags? Are the bags, does she have like suitcase sitting right by your door now?
It's just hollow Squishimals. Yeah, I just emptied out some Squishimals and put her clothes in there. 32-ounce cups with gecko turds sounds like a cool gift.
What?
Gross.
It's Frank. Coming to you, Frank.
Yep.
Frank.
I have your address, Frank. I'll save it up, and I'll save it up for a year and mail it to you next Christmas.
July. No, you got to send that out in July when it's nice and hot.
This is our non-wild caught. This is our captive bred kitty right here. This widget.
Pretty relaxed.
My original co-host. He's the softest cat I've ever felt. Russ, do you have anything to share?
Let's see. Not at the moment. I hope everybody enjoys the 12 Supreme Days of Christmas, and it's always a pleasure to be here for Podsgiving and get back together with all of you. It's awesome. So thank you for having me again. And it's great to hang out with you guys, all of you.
I'm going to ask every year I'm doing this. So just keep that in mind. So it gets more fun every year. Yeah. So it is like getting together like old friends. It's good now. Well, it was always good, but it just keeps getting better for me.
Yeah.
Can we do a theme next year? Can we do like Star Wars? Because I've got one of those red or yellow shirts with a symbol on it. Can we do that?
No, we can't. You just ruined it, Wally. Thank you. We were thinking about it, but we can't now. Russ and I have Jedi robes. Okay. All right. We're serious.
Geek alert.
Oh my God. I'm going to bed.
No more sport ball. Going to bed. It's only 10 o'clock. Come on.
Yeah,
Grandma.
I got to be up at 5 o'clock.
Oh, that stinks. Yeah, I'd be in bed already. I wouldn't stay up for this. Are you serious? We're thankful for you three and all the good you do for the community. Oh, Sandy.
Thank you.
She is such a sweetheart.
Sandy, thank you. Just real quick, thank you for donating you as well to the 12 Supreme Days of Christmas. Thanks, Frank, for being a moderator. That's a heavy job to pull. So thank you very much.
Sandy donated a skink?
Sandy donated 3. If I'm not mistaken, 3. It's in a spreadsheet somewhere, so that's the only way I remember.
They're beautiful too. I'll tell you right. She's got some beautiful skinks. All right, guys. I had a blast. Next week we're getting back to our normal show schedule right before the holidays. And then apparently New Year's and Christmas Day are Tuesdays. So expect me not to be here. If I am here, it'll be late, and it's for the lonely people, the people that have Chinese on Christmas. You know, that happens. That happens. It's fine. It's a great tradition. But yeah, we're going to be around for the holidays, maybe. But we got some good shows coming up, so stay tuned to this space. Everybody else, thank you guys so much. We're going to end here. All right?
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Jen.